David and Saul, the unexpected. King Saul failed God time and again, giving in to pride, rebellion, and sin. "Enough," God said to Samuel one day. "I want a new king who will do what I say. To Bethlehem go and find there a man. Jesse's his name. Go seek out his clan. All of his sons to you have him bring, and I'll tell you which one will be the new king." Off Samuel went, as God had directed, and there Jesse's sons he closely inspected. They were handsome and strong, each man one at all, and God chose the one who stood straight and shorter than the others. For God chose young David, Jesse's youngest son, for the Lord saw his heart and knew he was the one. "Some day you'll be king," Samuel declared. "Now wait on the Lord and what he has prepared." David grew to a man and a soldier became, serving in Saul's army, earning glory and fame. So famous was he with his skill with the sword, that the king thought David had earned a stab with a spear. For Saul was a bit crazy, not right in the head, so jealous of David he wanted him dead. In a sneaky attempt to conceal his intent, an invite for a meal to David was sent. At dinner Saul stood as he watched David eat. Then in a mad fury he jumped to his feet. He took up his spear and threw it like a dart. It flew straight and true right into David's shadow. For David had dodged and fled from the king. He ran for his life, hardly taking a thing. With just a few friends who stayed by his side, David looked for a place where he could now hide. He'd one day be king, is what God had said. Now David was praying he'd not wind up dead. Many came to join David of a rough kind of sort. They became an army that moved into a desert. For God told David, "Don't hide behind a wall. Rather listen to me and follow my call. Put your trust in me and see what I'll do. If you give me your faith, I won't fail you." To the desert God led them, with Saul chasing behind. David hid in a cave he thought Saul'd never find. With the whole desert for Saul's army to stay, David was sure they'd camp far, far, right outside his cave. It's true Saul's army had camped right outside the cave David and his men were trying to hide. David groaned and muttered, "Oh, for Pete's sake, did he have to choose here for his afternoon break?" Outside of the cave was a tree and some water, where Saul's army rested as the day grew hotter. Saul said to himself, "It's nap time for me. I think I'll lay down in the shade of that cave." To this very spot God led David's band, then delivered his enemy right into their hand. Unaware of the danger around him that day, Saul fell fast asleep and was snoring away. David's men whispered to him, "Go on, kill the king. It won't take much, just one little swing. And if the king is gone, then the army won't fight." He thought, killing my enemy surely must be all wrong. God made Saul the king. David knew it was true, and to kill the Lord's chosen one ought not to do. Yet here was his chance to take the king's throne, to claim the crown all for his own. David argued these thoughts back and forth in his mind as he snuck up to Saul, sneaking there from behind. He pulled out his knife for a silent attack and used it to cut right into Saul's robe. Though indeed it was tempting to strike out at Saul, David chose to stay faithful and follow God's call. He'd not strike King Saul or any harm to him bring. He'd stay loyal to God and loyal to the king. All that he cut was a piece of Saul's cloak, then followed the king when he soon then awoke. Saul walked to his men and the horse he'd been riding, glancing back at the cave where David was standing out front. "Here am I," called David as he bowed to the king. "Don't listen to lies or the fears which they bring. See this piece of your robe," to the king David said. "If I had wanted to kill you, you'd surely be dead. What harm have I caused you? What sin have I done? Tell me my crimes. Name even one. May God judge between us who's wrong and who's right. But if you want to kill me, I stand ready to die." Saul recognized David there holding the rag. Then he started to weep and his shoulders to sag. He said, "You've been loyal more than I understood. While I've done to you wrong, you've returned to me good. You chose to show mercy when you could have struck out. You're the man God has chosen without any doubt. May God truly bless you wherever you roam, and may we be at peace as you now go on to be king." David trusted his life in the hands of his God and acted on choices others thought odd. He could have taken the crown with one swing of his sword, but instead he chose to wait on the Lord. We may wonder why David didn't force his way or follow along with what others might say. What David wanted most, more than any other thing, was that once and forever he would be pleasing to God. In the course of this life, there are choices to make, and our life will be shaped by the ones which we take. The way of the world is a path smooth and broad. It's easier to walk, but leads not to God. Most people will expect that you act like they do, or at least in a way beneficial to you. But if you want a life that is godly directed, you must follow the path of the unexpected.